Welcome back to another episode here on Hacks and Hobbies. And today I'm thrilled to be joined by someone truly remarkable, Fitz Koehler. Now, Fitz is a fitness innovator, race announcer, author, and a true joy addict. I mean, I've checked out some of her stuff, and she is a joy to be, consuming, joy to be, in front of, with. So I'm super excited to be interviewing her on the podcast. Fitz, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast.
Oh, Janaid, thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this.
Absolutely. Now, you're also the founder of the Fitzness International and the author of several inspiring books, including My Noisy Cancer Comeback, Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, Sick Too Strong, and the Healthy Cancer Comeback Journal. I mean, those are some amazing accomplishments.
Yeah, I mean, I've built a I've built a business around helping people live better and longer by making fitness understandable, attainable, and fun. And I've been walking the walk for many years. Despite that, I was diagnosed with cancer and I
Mm,
did not enjoy that at all. It was really hard. I had 15 months, 21 rounds of chemotherapy, 33 rounds of
wow.
radiation, some surgery, and it was hard. I was dragged behind a horse for almost a year and a half. It was really, really tough. Yet I found that being a fit, strong person going into that nightmare really paid off in spades for me.
Yeah.
It was awful, but it would have been a lot worse if I had not taken care of my health preemptively. And then continuing on with whatever level of fitness I could do each day, whatever healthy food I can consume. And some people think, oh, she works in the running industry. She must have been running marathons during chemo. No, some
Yeah.
days I could walk to the mailbox, but I did do leg lifts in bed or bridges in bed, and I did stretch in the shower. And so through my expertise and my experience, I've decided I I I benefited so greatly from being a fitness expert during cancer.
Hmm.
And I look around the world and I see millions of cancer patients who are also being brutalized by their disease and their treatment,
Yeah.
and they have no idea how to fight back, how to take control of the things they can. And so I've dedicated a nice portion of my business to supporting other cancer patients and
Hmm.
showing them the way. I don't necessarily have a cure for them, but I can make their
Yeah.
life a lot easier and help them live better. And there are endless studies that prove people who exercise and watch what they
Hmm.
put in their mouth during cancer care are more likely to reach remission and far less likely to have a recurrence. And that's a very powerful thing to be aware of and to adopt.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love what I do. I make happy noise and help people live well.
Fitz, that's so powerful. What you just said, paying attention to what people put in their mouth during
Yep.
cancer, which is a really, it's almost like a revelation because people, they're like, oh my God, you have cancer. Guess what they don't do? They don't change their habits of what they're eating. They're just adding more and more medication instead of, paying attention to what's going in their bodies because guess what caused the cancer, right? It's the food that we
Hey,
eat.
there's a lot of evidence that says it's environmental and nutritional, which is, I mean, breast cancer, for example, 1 in 8 American women
Mm-hmm.
will be diagnosed with breast cancer. 1 in 40 in Asia America will be diagnosed. So
Wow.
what's the difference between them and us? We have the same parts. And when an Asian woman lives in America, she falls into that 1 in 8 category. So it's not
Wow.
bloodline, it's not genetics for the most of us. It's either environmental or
Mm-hmm.
nutritional. And so I think the most important thing for people to consider right now is to prepare your body to do battle today. Your health always matters. Don't wait until a doctor looks you in the face and says, I'm so sorry, you've got cancer, or you have
Yeah.
MS or Parkinson's or whatever, to start thinking, oh my gosh, now I'm going to exercise. Now I
Mm-hmm.
really value my health. No,
Yeah.
you're going
No.
to value your health every freaking day. And if you are a person who is focused on the 4 pillars of fitness. That's strength, cardio, flexibility, balance. It doesn't mean you have to be an Ironman competitor or, I don't know, lift all the weights. You just have to
Yeah.
focus on making your body better and stronger, right? Better than it
Amen.
was yesterday. And then when it comes to food, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to watch what you put in your mouth. Be reasonable about it. Never a diet, never
Yeah.
keto, never intermittent fasting. It's nutritious food. And
Yeah.
when people get a cold, holy mackerel, it's comical how as someone starts to get the sniffles, they think, I need to get some vitamin C. Well, it's actually intelligent because vitamin C does help boost your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's magnify that 1,000 trillion times because now you have cancer. Nutrition is
Yeah.
going to support you. Nutrition is going to help
Yes.
you along the way. Again, it may not cure your disease, but it can enhance your immune system and
Mm-hmm.
make you far less likely to suffer from infections. I mean,
Yeah.
they keep poking you as a cancer patient. You get poked, poked, poked. I got poked every day for over a year. It
Mm-hmm.
was mind-boggling. Every
Wow.
single time I got poked, I could have had an infection. I never did,
Mm-hmm.
but that's because I took care of the things that I could. And so yeah, start now, folks. Don't wait for a scary diagnosis. Don't wait to get hit by a bus. Just start now taking care of yourself. Life and health are both essential.
100%. That's so powerful. Start now. Don't wait for that crazy diagnosis from the doctor. Pay attention to your fitness. Pay attention to what you're putting in the body. Excellent, excellent advice.
Thank you.
Talk to us back. I want to go back a little bit because one thing that's in your bio is a race announcer. I want to listen. I want to hear about that story. Like, how did that start? Like, tell me about a little bit about being a race announcer.
Yeah, so I've been a speaker for decades, for corporations and associations. So making happy noise, connecting with massive crowds is one of the
Mm-hmm.
things I do and I do best. And as a fitness expert, I've spent tons of times on TV and making live presentations. And so
Nice.
over 10 years ago, I was virtually the fitness expert for Run Disney. They would bring me in every time they had a half marathon, marathon, and they would put me on the stage during race weekend. And I would teach things like strength training for runners or
Mm.
pain prevention and management for runners. And so they had a race announcer, Rudy Novotny, one of the greatest voices in all of the running industry. He would introduce me before I spoke. And he always says, wow, you're so dynamic. You're so energetic. You have such great info. People love you, blah, blah, blah. And I really appreciated that wonderful
Yeah.
feedback. And then I don't know how long it took, maybe a year after we first met, and he had been listening to all my presentations. He said, you know what? I need a co announcer for the Orange County Marathon in California in a
Mm-hmm.
few months. Are you interested? And I said, well, never done it before, but I'd love to give it a try. Just show me the ropes. And so he
Yeah.
connected me with the race director who was pleased to give me a try. And so I think I hosted about 20,000 people on my first Orange County
Wow.
Marathon, OC
Mm.
Marathon weekend.
Yeah.
And within about an hour of the first time I yelled go, the race director came over and said, would you come back next year? And I said, absolutely. And
Yeah.
if people don't know what a race announcer is, I'm at the start line
Mm-hmm.
with a big, lots of professional speakers and so forth. And I play great music. I welcome the masses as they arrive to go the distance, whether they're doing a 5K, a 10K, a
Mm-hmm.
half marathon, a full. Doesn't matter to me. These are people that are coming out to exercise, which makes me
Yeah.
really excited.
Yeah.
And my job is to get them engaged, informed, entertained. I make sure everybody feels like they're part of a team when they arrive, even if they came alone. I have fun with them. I let them know what's ahead, and then I whip them into a frenzy, and then I yell go, and then they all go and do their distance, and then they come back to the finish line. And my role there is to welcome each and every one of them, including the dead last finisher, into the finish line like
Amazing.
they are the world champion of running or walking, whatever. I just want
Yeah.
everyone to feel loved and special. And as a fitness expert, my intention there is to get people to have such a great time that they want to come out and exercise again. So whether they do it at my race or some other race, I just want to encourage the spirit of fitness and make them feel special. And if they have fun, they're more likely to do it again. So I host massive running events all over America, and it's one of the most fun things I do.
I bet. I mean, you're there, you're watching, you're motivating every single person that's on the road, that's on the track, that's on the trail because, like you said, us moving our bodies is the number one thing we can do to have a better health and better of everything. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. That's amazing. I've never thought. I mean, I've participated in a couple of races, and there's a race announcer on not on foot, but mostly like biking and whatnot. And
Oh,
there's somebody announcing that, telling people what's actually going on. So that's a
okay.
long day of work too, I bet, because you're there talking continually, motivating. Like, how do you keep and cultivate that mindset during that entire day? Like, talk to us about what pumps you up and how you keep that attitude up.
Yeah, it's really simple. As runners, I just people that want to exercise to me are like crack cocaine. I'm addicted to them. I'm excited about them. And in my fitness career, I do a lot of arm twisting. Like as you just heard, I'm constantly laying out the argument to get people to exercise, to eat right.
Yeah,
I'm constantly saying, "Come on, you should do it. You should do it."
yeah.
And on race day, an organization says, "Fitz, here's 10 to 30,000 people who think exercising is a great idea." And so I instantly fall deeply in love with them, and
Hmm.
I feel like we have a great connection when I'm at a start line. I mean, even if I have 30,000 people in front of me, I feel like we're best friends. Like we're sitting at a kitchen table, we're just
Yeah.
chit-chatting and having fun. And, I want to calm them down if they're nervous or pump them up if they want to PR or, have a great day. And it's so easy for me because I worship them. And I know if
Mm.
I have the capacity to make their experience wonderful. And so
Yeah.
even when I was sick, I was bald and gray. I was violently ill. Oh my gosh, I was so sick, but I would fly across the country. I normally, wherever I was going, my race directors often got me IV fluids to help keep
Hmm.
me upright. I'd sleep on those hotel bathroom floors. I mean, I was a
Wow.
very sick person. But when I woke up in the morning and got to my stages, the second I stepped on my stage, everything that was wrong with me disappeared. I wasn't sick. I wasn't suffering. I wasn't tired. And those things were real. It's not that I was
Mm.
making them up in my head, but
Sure.
when I was connected to these people, all of a sudden all of my attention refocused on them. And it was such a blessing to me. It was miraculous that I got to do the thing that I love to do for, sometimes 8 to 10 hours at a span
Yeah.
because I love them. And so that's how I work hard, is because I want to, because I care. And I think it's fun and it makes me happy making them happy. And so yeah, I put a ton of energy into my days, and some people might call it hard. I feel so fortunate to get to serve these people in these events.
But that's absolutely remarkable. I mean, I can't wait to uh, be in on the ground running while you're announcing. You're motivating people like that. That'd be a pretty awesome experience. I mean, just having to speak with you here on the podcast, and I'm full of joy, and something that you describe yourself as a joy addict. You know,
Yeah.
I love joy equally. I'm always in a positive mindset, but I want to hear from you as somebody who's called themselves as a joy expert. What are some practical ways that we can all embrace joy in our lives? Because there's so many crazy things that are happening, that we're going through continually, and like, what are some of the things that we can do that's going to help us embrace joy and be that positive life for others?
Yeah, so there's a couple things. So number one, I'm very fortunate. I was born this way. I'm a joy addict. I want it. I crave it. I will do whatever
Yeah.
it takes to put myself in a happy position, which goes a long way for me. Some people are built differently, where they like drama, they like deep, dark emotions.
Mm.
To some people that feels good, but to me, it's completely undesirable. It's not what I want. I want to be happy. I want to be happy. So there's the natural instinct, which yay for me, yay for whoever has it, because there are some other people that lean that way. But even if you're not, if you're an Eeyore, right? If you are an Eeyore at your core,
Mm.
you can still be a happier person. And
Yeah.
it comes with habits. It comes with making decisions and knowing who you are. And if the negative feelings feel bad to you, having an outlet or a plan for those negative feelings. And so I think perspective is the first thing. And so for me, yes, cancer scared me and made me sad. I cried every day for a little bit,
Hmm.
every day during treatment. However, I would always keep in mind how fortunate I was not to be a baby with cancer, and that it wasn't my baby with cancer, right?
Mm.
So there's someone always has it worse. So if you're stuck in traffic and you're thinking,
Yeah.
oh gosh, I'm stuck in traffic, this is worse. Okay, get a grip. There's someone probably at the front of that traffic jam with their
Yeah.
arm dangling off, or a head trauma, or something awful has
Yeah.
happened, right? So you're being stuck in a traffic jam is not the worst thing. You spill red wine on the carpet. Okay. There are babies in the hospital with cancer. There's
Mm,
houses burning down and hurricanes, and there's
yeah.
things that are really horrible. For the
Yeah.
most things we deal with on a day-to-day basis, they don't qualify. They don't qualify as horrible. They don't compare
They
to a
don't.
tornado. So perspective, number one, that goes a long way. And then have a game plan. So, sometimes I feel bad. Someone irritates me, or I just all of a sudden I think it's my serotonin drops and I become a little sad. All right, well,
Mm,
I know what makes me happy. First of all, for me, I go outside. Fresh air, just being outside versus inside goes all the way to lightening my mood. Exercise is proven to help vent toxic feelings. You're actually getting it out, right? You are
yeah.
physically expelling nastiness from your body, from your mind, from that horrible spot in your chest that feels bad. Exercise works. You could punch a bag, you could swim laps, you could dance. It doesn't matter to me. Any sort of exercise. I go straight to my animals, right? Animals are my go-to. And so those things
Hmm.
work for me. Maybe for you, it's poetry, or doing crocheting, or painting,
Yeah.
or watching football. So know who you are, know what works. And, perspective number one, if you can remove yourself from the situation that's making you feel irritated or bad, do that. You don't need to stick with the cranky person ruining your life. Step away and then go towards things that bring you joy. And eventually you'll lighten up.
Man, those are some really powerful tips. Thank you so much,
Of
Fitz. I
course.
appreciate it because you're absolutely right. There are worse situations that people are in, like the entire flooding that happened
North
in
Carolina.
Philippines, North Carolina, like all of these different parts in the world. People didn't have power. So many people lost their lives, and
Yeah.
they're not getting the support that they need. So we are definitely blessed. We are definitely in a better place, and always looking to the silver lining, okay, is super super important. So thank you so much to help us
Yeah,
keep that going.
of course. Of course.
Now, another thing that has been really impressive was, not only are we going through those tough parts in the days and keeping that joy positive. Now you've been incredibly resilient through your cancer journey, and you wrote about these things. And what advice would you have for building that mental strength and resilience? And a little bit of what you spoke around being the joy addict kind of applies here, but I would love to know what what do you do when things get really really tough and you're not in that happy mode, you're facing a lot of adversity. What are some of the things that we can do to help ourselves?
Yeah, of course. So I stand by the things you just said as good tools for making a bad situation brighter. But, it's okay to be sad.
Mm,
We're humans, right? I'm not a robot. And cancer scared me. It made me not only fear for my own life, but I feared for losing my children. It was tough. It was stressful to
yeah.
the max. And so I did cry 15 minutes every day. I'd go in, and it wasn't like planned, I'm going to go cry, but it just would come out. And I'd either do it alone in my bathroom or alone in my car, and I'd get the boohoo's out, and then I would
Yeah.
get on with it. And so I want to encourage people to know that it's okay, it's human to feel sad or to cry. It's not acceptable to bask in it. Right. So if you are someone who's just going through a breakup and you're like, I'm gonna cry and I'm gonna eat Ben and Jerry's and I'm gonna turn on this sad music and just be miserable and mope, that's not healthy. That's not, I mean, that makes no sense for everybody. So for anybody, so you need to make these decisions, right? It's perspective, even if it's a breakup, even if your house burns down, as
Yeah.
long as your humans and your pets get out, okay, it's just stuff, right? So, perspective number one, pursuing your passions at all costs. Those are the things that you specifically love to do. These are the things that will lighten your days. You should pursue your passions daily. Again, for me, outside, exercise, animals, every day, no matter what's going on, even the hurricanes coming to Florida, I surround myself with those things. I play my guitar or so forth. So whatever your passions are on the good days, and then when the bad days, when your house burns down, if you love to paint, get outside with a need, go buy easel at the dollar store and paint a picture of your house as standing up or in a rubble, whatever it is. Just pursue those passions. So perspective, passions, and then find a reason to be positive. There are things in your life that are wonderful. There are things in the world that are good. And, again, you can bask in the negativity. And I'm going to say, it sucks for you. What a terrible, awful decision to make for
Mm,
yourself.
yeah.
Just basking in grief. So uh, you can't control everything, but you can control yourself. And it's always a better choice to control what you can. And if that's your behavior, your mindset, the things that you choose to do in spite of hardship, that's how you become a truly healthy and invincible person.
Man, thank you so much. That's really powerful, especially making that decision, right? Whatever happened to us is uncontrollable, but what we do from that is
Yeah.
completely in our mindset. I think there was somebody who said, "Hey, if I were to crumble this, no, that's not the that's not the example I'm looking for. Basically, saying, hey, if somebody took $10 from your $87,000, would you cry about it? Like, no, it's fine. Have 87 to more $1,000. Like, well, your entire day is the same way. You have 87,000 seconds in a day, and if somebody was to bother you for 10 seconds, are you gonna mope around for those 10
Yeah.
seconds for the entire day, or are you gonna say, hey, you know what? I've got 87,600 more seconds
Yeah.
to live it up. How do I do it? So thank you so much. Now, a question that I love to ask, and this is for me, you're right. So for those who might be intimidated by fitness. Now, I used to work out many years ago. I used to cycle, a few years ago, and I've kind of stopped and not do. But I want to get back into it. What would you say to encourage people who are intimidated to take that first step, even if it's small?
Well, that's the secret is taking the first step and making it definitely make it small. It's
Mm,
almost like saying, I would like to learn how to speak Russian and I'm
mm,
going to do it tomorrow, or I'm giving up. I'm gonna learn fluent Russian tomorrow, or else. The fitness is the same way. You gotta show up and you gotta do, if you work on getting 1% better
yeah.
every day, holy smackers, you can really achieve a lot. If you try to get 22% better in one day, I assure you, you are going to be miserable. You are going to
Mm,
be debilitated with pain, and that is going to be depressing, and you're going to quit. And so
yeah.
instead, be reasonable and, yeah, baby steps. And it's funny to me how many grown-ups say, well, and they'll come to me with asking for some fitness advice, and they'll say, but when I was in high school, I was a really good baseball player. And I'm like, I don't care what you were 22 years ago. It doesn't, none of that's relevant. Where are you today? Let's be realistic. Let's be honest. Get naked, look at yourself in the mirror, and then make an assessment. If you love what you see, congratulations, you did that. If you don't like what you see, you did that. So know that
Mm,
you have the power to make change. You can't make yourself taller or shorter, but for the most part, you can change everything else. You can update, you can upgrade, but you can't do it all by tomorrow or even next week. And so you
amen.
got to start somewhere. If you're learning Russian, you're probably going to learn 3 to 5 words a day. And then after 6 to 12 months, you might be fluent in Russian, right? So
Yeah.
fitness is the same way. If you think you're going to accomplish a chunk tomorrow, you won't. You're lying to yourself. And it didn't take, just one day to get terribly out of shape, right? So
Yeah.
doesn't matter what you did in high school. And also, it doesn't matter if you're pregnant, and it doesn't matter if you have cancer, and it doesn't matter if you're going through menopause or you went through
Wow.
menopause or any of the things. What matters is just you, wherever you are at the time, getting 1% better.
Man, that's so powerful. You're absolutely right. Taking that one step is
Yeah.
the number one thing that you can do, because here's the thing, right? As we have children, right? We watch them grow. They didn't give
Mhm.
up when they fell down trying to take that first step. They're like they got back up. So we got to do the same thing and continue to move forward. Now let's talk a little bit about your books and what inspired you to write these ones. Now the first one was My Noise, or some of the books that you wrote is My Noisy Cancer Comeback and Your Healthy Cancer Comeback. Was writing a therapeutic process for you? Like, talk to us about it.
I don't know if it was therapeutic, but it was important. And I've written probably thousands of articles at this
Mm-hmm.
point, and I only work when I have something to say.
Yeah.
When I have something to get out that I need somebody else to hear, I write it. So my Noisy Cancer Comeback was the first book in this series, and that was the memoir. And so I went through cancer in a very public way, and I never wore a wig. I just went bald as me. And because of the hair loss, I had no choice but to tell people I was sick. I would have loved to keep it private. I'm not someone who enjoys pity. If I
Mm-hmm.
could have looked the same exact way I was supposed to look and gone through it and just kept it to myself, I would have. But instead, I had to make this, hey, everybody, I got cancer. I'm going to be fine. No pity. Just, you can root for me. Off I go. But throughout the process, people would see me show up in their towns, and I still didn't want them to pity me. And my role in their life is to be a beacon of health and happiness, not sickness and suffering. And so
Yeah.
whenever they would say, "How are you?" I would say, "Just fine." Even if I was not fine. And I was almost never fine. And so
Yeah.
what happened along the way is uh, things got crazy. Things got crazy. Cancer is very hard, very scary. Excuse me. It's also sometimes hilarious. There were so many
Mm.
crazy, batshit nuts things that went on that I was dying to tell people, not because I wanted pity, but because I thought they would laugh. And then there's all these weird things that I was ill prepared for because nobody else talks about. And then I had made some really great decisions that I thought, gosh, if these other people can make these decisions, including perspective and passions, they could have a much better time with their treatment too. And so, my Noisy Cancer Comeback is the memoir, and it goes through all the gory details and all the hilarious stories, and then the good decisions that fortunately not only have cancer patients, but the general
Mm.
public reads my Noisy Cancer Comeback. That's a book for everybody. It's on audio book, it's on ebook, you can get it in all the formats, but people love that one. And
Amazing.
then Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, Sick to Strong, that one's the guidebook. That's when I hit, I'd say about a third of the way through my treatment, and my mother had just said, "You need to eat. You look like you were in the Holocaust," because I had lost so much weight and strength and everything. And I said, "Yeah, Mom, I know. I'm doing my best, right?" I was so sick and so weak and so thin. And I looked in the mirror, and it was kind of a horrifying sight to see myself that way. But I never had a doubt that I would rebuild my body and get back to vibrant and fit and strong and
Mm.
capable. Why? Because I'm a fitness expert. Yay for me. But at that very time where I was feeling confident about my eventual comeback, I was just thinking how god awful it must be for everybody else to be watching
Yeah.
their bodies get ravaged, and they have no idea how to manage it during treatment or after. And then I went looking, and there were no other resources that were even remotely reasonably helpful. And so I thought, well, screw it. I will make that resource. I'm sorry, I moved the camera. So this
No
one is
worries.
Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, and it's full color, and it's
Nice.
it's an easy understand. If you're 14, you can understand it. I go through foods that help, foods that hurt. There's no gimmicks, there's no nonsense. It's
I
highly
love it.
recommended by all sorts of oncologists. There's a huge chapter, a photo chapter, including pictures on how to exercise on your feet,
Oh,
how to
beautiful.
exercise in chairs, in bed, how to stretch in the shower. So uh, it's an easy read
Mm-hmm.
that people can make good use of while they're going through treatment, and tons of cancer patients too. I mean, it's one of the delights of my life how many cancer centers carry the book and recommend it, and how many cancer patients use it and say it helped. And then the Healthy Cancer Comeback Journal right here. Journaling has been proven to help people's mental well-being while they're going through hardship, but it's a great place to store your diagnosis details, your treatment plan, your faith, your family, the funny stuff. Have you nicknamed your tumor? Have you nicknamed your port? What celebrity do you look like bald? And so for me, do
Mm.
you mind if I share?
Of course. Please,
You mind if
please.
no? Okay, so I instantly, as soon as I lost my hair, people would say, "You look like Sinead O'Connor," and I'd say, "Well, yeah, that makes sense. Sure, I do." And then they would say, "You look like Grace Jones," and no, I don't. No, I don't. And if anyone's not looking at me right now, I am as Irish, blue-eyed as they come. And Grace Jones is a black female with strong cheekbones. Like we don't look at all alike, but they made
Sure.
that comparison. And then after that, the most common thing I received, which I thought was hilarious, hundreds of people told me along the way that I looked exactly like crazy Britney Spears.
Oh wow,
And
that's
I
amazing.
thought, okay. And it wasn't Britney. I look like crazy Britney Spears. So,
Mm,
there's the fun stuff in the journal. And then the back half of the book is a place to uh, take notes of your journey from sick to strong, your path, including nutrition, hydration, sleep, exercise. So it's a useful tool for people that are in a tough predicament. And fortunately, people who are using it for other ailments, if they've got MS or Parkinson's, they're getting these books too. And it's
100%.
just really cool to be able to give anyone going through hardship some guidance on how to manage it and preserve what they can.
I love it, Fitz. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing. We'll be sure to include the links to the books and the journals because we want everybody to be healthy. We want to make sure that they're taking the right steps, they have the right guidance, and you've got all of them packed in a book that anybody can, like, it doesn't even require technology for people to use it, right?
No,
So
no.
I
They
love it. I
make
love
great
it.
gifts. I always say if you
Yes,
love someone with cancer, this is a way you can
this is
actually
the
help
way
because
it,
people want to help, they just don't know how. So give them the
yeah.
Cancer Comeback free pack and they can help themselves.
Perfect. Thank you, Fitz. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next segment of the podcast. It's been really, really fun talking with you, learning about your journey and the different ways that you've empowered not just your community but also the people around you and people that are in the races and your clients and whatnot. Like it's just amazing to see people like you, and I think we need more people like yourself in the world because it's a crazy out there. It's crazy out there, and there's only very few people. Like you said, you couldn't find any support. You didn't find any materials out there, so you had to go and create it. And I'm glad that you did. So in this next segment of the episode, I'd like to ask if you have 3 hacks that you can share with our audience that they can implement right away. Now, these hacks could be anything that you're using for yourself, using for your clients, telling other people, or implementing. And these could be anywhere from fitness to life to, all the different things that we encounter. So take it away.
Okay, so number one is the exact formula for weight loss. So for folks who think, I want to lose weight, but they've tried all the dumb diets, yeah, diets are dumb. Diets are a really bad idea. They are
Mm,
short-term solutions that lead to long-term miserable misery. So instead, use the exact formula, which as the most simple statement can be boiled down to think about your goal weight. So what do you want to weigh? You want to weigh 150, let's say 150. Put a
mhm,
zero on the end. That's your caloric budget for the day, max. If you would like to weigh 150 pounds every single day, max out at 1,500 calories, your body will eventually shrink down to that size. Now, I go into much greater detail on fitzness.com. So FITZNESS.com. You will find the exact formula for weight loss. Click on that box.
perfect.
It'll lay it out and give you all the frequently asked questions. So that's number one. And again, no matter what diet is, it's dumb. It's stupid. Don't buy it. Don't bite off on it. Diets are terrible choice. I have a master's in exercise and sports sciences. I could
Hmm.
sell all of you a ton of diets, but they're garbage. So number one, avoid that. Number two is the 4 pillars of fitness. This is something everybody should be aware of. And almost nobody is. Fitness is not just about going for a walk. And fitness isn't just about becoming a bodybuilder. There are
Mm,
4 pillars of fitness that will, if you focus on them, your body will become resilient and you will be able to live long and live well. Number one
nice.
is cardiorespiratory endurance. That's the exercise that makes you huff and puff. So anything from sex to swimming to dancing to karate to running, anything that makes you huff and puff for an extended period of time is going to help with that first pillar. Number two is strength. That's your total body strength, not just your biceps and not
Mm,
just your glutes, your ability to push, pull, press, lift against resistance. If you are strong, you will be so much less likely to have sprains, strains, and tears. You will be likely to stand up straight, have great posture. People will respect you more. And as you age, you will be less likely to curl over. So that's a second pillar. The third is flexibility. Your body was designed to move in all different directions, but you have to move it in all different directions. So stretching is something you can do 5, 10, 20 times a day. Move your body at different angles, rotate, twist, reach until you squint that little that little point where you squint and go, that's where you know you're making progress, and hold it there for 10 to 20 seconds. Easy peasy. But again, if you are flexible, you will be less likely to have sprains, strains, and tears, less likely to blow out those discs. And so flexibility, a big deal. And then last but not least is balance training. That's our fourth pillar of fitness. And balance is important because falling down is horrible. That's right. Nobody likes to fall down, and almost nobody does balance training. So if you practice standing on one foot with your eyes closed, standing on one foot, flapping your arms or throwing a ball or brushing your teeth, your feet, your ankles, your knees, your hips will get accustomed to
Mm,
adjusting to instability, and that will make you more stable and less likely to fall down. And we know as we age, falls become a bigger and bigger problem, and we've
mm-hmm,
lost too many of our parents and grandparents because they had a fall. So don't let
mm,
that be you. So number one is the exact formula. Number two is the four pillars of fitness, and that also is on fitzness.com, all for free. And then my other hack would be, which we've talked about it, but choose joy.
mm-hmm.
Every time someone comes and screws you or irritates you or takes from you, find a reason to be happy anyways. And if you can make that a habit, if you can do that in the small situations, you will eventually be able to do that in the big situation. And if you have a healthy mind and a healthy body, you will be unstoppable.
Amen, Fitz. Thank you so much. Those are really, really powerful hacks and tips that we can implement in our lives. In fact, I had posted a post a few days ago on my Facebook saying, if, let's say, you have a cup of coffee and somebody spills it, and what comes out, what's going to come out? Coffee is going to come out out of the cup. If you had tea, tea is going to come out of that cup. So it's like a metaphor on whatever's inside of you is going to come out when you're facing, any calamity or whatnot. If you're angry on the inside, anger is going to come out.
Well, I tell you, I was at the Jerry Seinfeld show in Georgia this
Yeah.
weekend. I drove up to see Jerry Seinfeld. He's my favorite comedian
He's
of
my
all time.
favorite too.
Oh, he's the best, best, best. So I've seen him twice live. I went to Macon, Georgia, and I had great seats, and we were right close up front. And I'm in row four. In row five, there's these bozos that are yammering on the whole show,
Oh
and
my
it took a lot of restraint. There was a few times where I turned around and said, "Could you please be quiet? I'm trying to listen." But I was starting to seethe, right? I was so irritated. I made this long trip. I got a
God. Mm,
hotel and I paid a lot of money for the tickets, and they were ruining it.
yeah.
And I just had to choose no, let it go, because Jerry's not going to come back and do this again for me. This is
Yeah.
not about me. This is about him and us. And there's idiots behind me. I have to let it go. And I was able to laugh. But there was a propensity that I could have just stewed the rest of the show. And the only person who would have been screwed if I had done that
Yeah.
was myself. So
Yeah.
it really is self-control, and it's sometimes hard to do, but if you can
So
do it,
hard.
you really can come out as a winner in so many tough situations.
Amen. I love it. Thanks for sharing that story. I absolutely love the guy. He's basically a staple in our society, basically creating two different types of shows. Like Seinfeld was the original sitcom that he created, right? And then Coffee and Cars with
So
comedians
good.
was done that. And there's like I had no idea, but there's so many copies of that type of show too, because when he came out with it, people started doing all different types of things similar to
Yeah.
that, which is really, really fun.
He's a genius. I think that's really the reigning theme. Anytime I listen to him interview or perform, he's just so freaking smart. And
Yeah.
it's also such a delight that he can talk about. I mean, his show was about coffee and marriage and cemeteries and all these basic thing.
Everything.
And
Yeah.
he would use one curse word. He said ass. And other than that, he wasn't vulgar. He
Yeah.
didn't say anything that was embarrassing. He's such a pro. It's such a great gift. And as a speaker myself, I looked at people like that and think about his microphone went out. And that's something I deal with all the time. Microphones
Yeah.
again could ruin your night. But Jerry
Hmm.
says, okay, just get me another microphone. He made a joke out of the microphone situation. We all laughed. And then he got back on it. And that's what you got to be, right?
I love it. I love it, Fitz. All right, last segment of our show. I have fun few questions for you. So you can see on the screen. Number one question is, what is the one hobby that you wish you got into?
Well, two that I'm actually doing right now. This year, I picked up two great hobbies and I love them. And I only wish I started earlier. Number one, I'm learning how to play guitar.
Nice.
And if I could go back to when I was 12 and started
I
learning, that would have
know.
been awesome. I loved it. And then I'm doing ballroom dancing. I was in a Dancing with the Stars competition and I've carried it
Nice.
on. So much fun. And I just wish I had done it sooner. So guitar and ballroom dance.
Man, I love it. Thank you so much. I've been learning to play the guitar, but the key is to get the guitar out of the box. You know, like it's been sitting in the box. I need to put it in a
Gotta
more
practice.
prominent place. But it's really hard when you have like 2 year olds and 6 year olds in the house and they're like, hey, I want to play the guitar too.
Yeah, so just make them listen. Just be like, no, daddy time. I'm playing. You listen.
Really good point. Thank you so much. All right, next up, what did you want to be when you were a child?
Believe it or not, I wanted to be a singer, and which is very cute. I have a terrible singing voice, awful singing voice. So I've learned to enjoy my speaking voice.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember as a kid where we'd record ourselves saying whatever. I'd
Yeah.
hear myself back and I'd think, holy cow, I don't sound like that, do I?
Yeah.
And I did. And I think I've learned to use my voice in a better way. Some people actually tell me they love my voice, which is always very surprising, but yeah, I'm not a singer. I'm not a singer, but that's what I thought I would be. I think really I wanted to be connecting with people and I found
Yeah.
another way to do it. So
No, you absolutely
when
did.
well, I'm putting that in the W column for me.
No, I totally agree. That is a win column because what you do as a speaker is a really hard thing already. Like most people would be like, I would rather die than speak
Yeah.
on stage. So, it's really powerful what you're already doing. Thank you. All right, next question. What is your favorite movie or TV show?
Ding, ding, ding. It's
Ding ding
Seinfeld.
ding. It's Seinfeld. I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
I how many times have you rewatched the entire series?
Endless, endless. In
Oh,
fact,
that's
it's
fine.
one of those shows. I need noise to go to sleep. So some people
Sure.
need real silence.
Yeah.
I need some distraction to turn my mind off because it's very, very busy.
Yeah.
And so probably I've gone to sleep to Seinfeld, I would say 80% of the nights of my
Oh my
adult life.
god.
So yeah,
Um,
never ending.
in that show, who's your favorite character besides Seinfeld?
Besides Jerry,
Yeah.
Elaine, she's so fun and the shut up thing, I'm a shut up person and she's fun and smart and
Yeah.
fearless. Yeah, I like her.
And
And
of the
yours? Who's your favorite?
mine's Kramer because he's the
Awesome.
entrepreneur mindset. Like he's trying all the different things in the world and then giving up. But I'm not the giving up type.
No, no, you're not. He's great.
And yeah, he's absolutely amazing, and the spontaneity that he brought on the show was truly remarkable. I remember of the four characters or of the four people, two people are still creating really amazing show. I mean, Jerry, of course, and then Elaine with
Um,
the different shows that she's been on.
yeah, yeah.
She's done some amazing work.
I gotta tell you, and this is a
Yeah.
poo-poo, but Jason Alexander, who played George, he
Hmm.
is on Young Sheldon, which is also another great sitcom, very
Right.
sarcastic. And he plays a drama teacher, and he's got a Texas twang, and it just doesn't work, which is so
Mm,
disappointing because I really like him. And you know what?
yeah.
They can all be home runs, but yeah, it's
Of
one of those
course.
things where I'm like, I don't like him in that role, but great as George.
Yeah. No, he's someone else. I mean, he's done some amazing things as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next
Okay.
question. What movie would you choose if you got to play a character in it?
That's a great question. What movie? So I've not seen this. I've not seen the series, but I think everybody knows about Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I sometimes get called Khaleesi. And if I braid my hair, they're like, you look
Yes,
just like Khaleesi. I
you've
do
got
Dutch
you've
braid.
got yeah, you got that.
Yeah, so I would say that looks fun. I haven't seen too much, but I like her outfits and what else. That's a
I mean,
terrible
she's the
terrible
dragon
answer.
queen. I mean, she's the dragon queen. I mean,
Why would I not want to
there's
be
no
a dragon queen,
hell
right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on to the next question. Who is your favorite superhero?
Okay, my favorite is not a hero. It's a super villain. Her name is Scream. She's part of the Marvel universe. In
Hmm.
fact, she's actually featured in the Spider-Man ride at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. But she's got this long, crazy hair, and
Mm-hmm.
she howls like a siren, and she
Wow.
grabs people with their hair, with her hair, and tosses them. She fights with her hair, and she's noisy like me. And so, Scream. I would want to be Scream. She's my favorite
Oh,
superhero.
I love it. I love it. That sounds really amazing. I just finished watching Spider-Man: No Way Home when they brought back the other two Spider-Men from
Yeah.
the previous movies, and I was like, dude, that was such a nice to see them all come together on screen. Like, oh my
Mhm.
god, it was
Yeah,
like
super fun.
waking up everybody's fanboys. Like, oh my god, you get to see all
Yes,
the
yes.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
All right, Scream. I'll have to look her up. That sounds really awesome. All right, next question. If you were a board game, what would it be?
Twister, hands down, Twister. Active and rowdy and silly for sure. Twister.
I love it. Well, Fitz, thank you so much. That was that was a wrap up. I really appreciate you being here. Your energy is contagious. I'm grateful that you could share your journey and advice with us. This was really a lot of fun.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And you're a fantastic host. It was a joy.
I appreciate it, Fitz. Now, where can our audience connect with you, buy your books, and do all the fun things? I'll be sure to include the links to all of this stuff, but where do you prefer them to go?
Yeah, so my home base for everything is fitzness.com, FITZNESS.com. I encourage everybody to just stop by. I have oodles and noodles of free resources to help you live better and longer today, from free workout videos to endless amount of recipes and articles, and the exact formula is there and so forth. So fitzness.com. You can also find links. The Fitzness Show is my podcast
Oh, right on.
that streams everywhere, Amazon and Apple and Google Play and Spotify, etc. My books are available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and wherever books are sold. However, if you purchase the books from fitzness.com, I sign them all. So if you're buying them as a gift
Yes.
for someone you love, that's a great place to get them. And I wrap them beautifully and I send some free gifts, little stickers and things in the packaging for your favorite cancer patient or just person who wants to read good books.
I love it.
And then I'm at Fitzness on social media. So I'm trying to keep it easy on you all. If you
No,
go
you are. You
anywhere,
absolutely are.
you look up Fitzness, you will find me. And here's the deal. If you follow, I promise quality content in return. However, what I prefer is to make new friends. So please say hello and let me know you heard me on Janaid's podcast, and then we could be besties. So yeah, Fitzness, everything, everywhere.
Awesome, Fitz. Well, thank you so much again for this opportunity to speak with you, learn about your journey, learn about your books, and all the amazing things that you've been doing, and you're continuing to do it for people around the world. Thank you so much, Fitz.
Thanks, Janaid. Bye, everybody.
All right, guys, that was an excellent episode with Fitz Koehler. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and stay tuned for more inspiring guests like Fitz. Don't forget to check out Fitz's website. It's fitzness.com for her books and additional resources, like she said. And thank you all for listening. And remember, no matter what you're going through, there's joy and resilience to be found. Until next time, we'll see you in another episode.